when it comes to business, we do have to be flexible. We need to run our lives the way that we want to around our family and our other commitments and our other activities. And in the party plan business, it's actually something we talk about a lot, especially when we're trying to make the business look appealing to someone who might join. So it's interesting that I come across so many people that end up having the business run them instead of them run the business. So I think too many people are controlled by their business, and it's really not what we signed up for. It's not what we talk about, and it's not how we should run things. What are the benefits of taking control? Obviously, we'll be less stressed. We will live the lifestyle that we talk about all the time, and probably the lifestyle that we joined for. I know that when I joined for flexibility, and pretty quickly I found I had no flexibility, so I had to learn how to get that flexibility. But when we can do that and live this flexible life that fits in around us, we'll actually recruit more easily as well, because isn't that what everybody else wants? But we need to show that we can do this. We need to show that that's what we've got before we can convince other people they can have it. If you are interested in developing a team and developing a bigger business, taking control means you will develop teams easier. So when the job looks easy and looks fun, people look at us and want to be like us. When we look exhausted and a wreck, nobody wants to do what we're doing, and why should they? So just remember that everything that we do in our business is telling a story that other people are reading. And this applies to customers, hosts, and recruits. It applies to everybody. It's important that we make the job look easy. It does help with bookings, and it helps with recruits and building teams, as we talked about. But don't just make it look easy, actually make it easy. Otherwise, you're kind of doing false advertising. So always look for ways to simplify. Anytime you're feeling out of control, which some of us are at the moment, take it as a flag that you need to look at how you're doing things, and you need to simplify. And bit by bit, you'll get there. You need to be a good example for everybody that's watching. All right, in order to get the diary under control, first of all, you need to work out how you want to use it. And there are lots of ways you can use your diary, and I'm sure if you go on internet, go on Google for a short while, you'll find lots of different ways of using your diary. So you need to find the best way that works for you. I've tried lots of different ways. I'm going to share with you the way that works well for me, but I do understand that everybody's different. So everything you read about, everything you hear about, you need to just have a look at it, see how you think that might fit in with you. You'll come up with a hybrid eventually, something that does work for you. So some people like to use two diaries, one for work and one for home. And if that works for you, that's fantastic. I personally found it didn't work well for me. I always got really confused about where I was supposed to be and what I was meant to be doing. I forgot to cross-check with the other diary, so I kept double booking myself with everything, and I just basically got into a lot of trouble over that. So that didn't work. But I can appreciate that people look in your diary when you're doing this business. You possibly don't want them to see private things that you'd rather keep to yourself, and that would be a reason why some people want to have two diaries. But you can use codes instead. So instead of dentist, write your dentist's name. Instead of doctor, write your doctor's name, and write a time, and write an address. If people look at this in your diary, they haven't got a clue what that is. They're just going to assume that it's something to do with the business. So that was one way to be able to have your private appointments in there, but also helps you look a bit busy. Do write in things like when you're helping at school, because you need to show that the business is flexible and it fits in with your family. And this is a really good recruiting tool. It shows that you're living this flexible life that you talk about. So whatever happens, don't have a completely empty diary. Always make it look busy. People do not want to book with someone that's got nothing on, because if you open your diary and say, well, look, when do you want to have your party? You can have any time because I've got nothing on. They're going to wonder if there's a reason why you're not busy, and it might be that you're actually not very good at your job. So people like to book with busy people, and they also like to talk about it. They like to brag about it. They say, oh, well, look, she's really busy, but she managed to squeeze me in. It makes you something that people want. It also reduces your postponements, because people know that if they postpone, it's not going to be easy for them to get another date. So once you've got your diary, you also need to decide when you're available for parties. And if you're continually taking bookings when you don't really want them, our business starts to feel really heavy and it feels like it's dragging us down. So let's say you've promised the family a night at home, or you've arranged to have an evening with your partner. These are really important things, and it's really not good to say to your family or to your partner, oh, I've got a booking that night now, so we're going to have to postpone. And I have to admit that I have been guilty of doing that in the past when I was pretty young in my party plan career, and I quickly found that it was a really good way to lose the support of your family and your partner really quickly and to really upset them fast. So I had to sort that out. So in the last session, we did look at using the weekly planner to find out when you want to work. So we're not going to do that now. There's lots of things you can do to let people know what dates these are, and one of my favorites is to put a post-it on the page where you want to work in your diary. So when you open up your diary like this and you're trying to get bookings, it's funny how people will look at the post-its, they actually know what that means, and they just choose a post-it. And I'll say, oh, I'll have that one that you've got on Tuesday. So they just choose the dates. Excellent, because those are the days you want to work. The other good thing about the post-its is that, let's say Mary Lou, who's on Thursday, she can't have her party on that day for whatever reason, and we have to change the date. Instead of doing the big scribble out and write somewhere else, I can just pick the post-it up and move it onto another page. So really simple, but I really like that.